Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, March 25th. And thanks for joining Wishbone and I. And let me tell you a few things that are new today. We are busy preparing and planning for school from home to resume on Monday, March 30th. As a matter of fact, your elementary teachers are participating in a virtual faculty meeting in a few minutes. And I want to particularly be thankful for people like will be grateful for all of our principals like Mr. Thompson, Ms. McGinty, Mr. Ridge, Ms. Deet, Dr. Shaw, Mr. Ziders, Mr. Wolfson, Mr. Canan, Dr. Murray, Mr. Kitsko, Mr. Ramsey, Mr. Mallory, Ms. Gill, Dr. Nelson, and Mr. Belowitz. I'm very, very grateful for all the work that all of our principals are doing. It's been a very tough couple of weeks for everybody, and thank you all for pitching in. So, as we said, we're getting ready for school on Monday, and we have been distributing Chromebooks. And we're getting ready for our second round of Chromebooks this week. And you'll get an email from Mr. Stengel telling you exactly where and when to pick those up. And according to the governor's order, you are allowed to be out to go pick up distance learning equipment. So we won't be violating anything that the governor requested. And we want to make sure that you have the equipment you need to learn from home. As you know, and I've been saying it over the last few days, is that school from home will be different than coming to your classroom. And we all have to be extra patient as we all learn this different way of learning. Now, a few people have asked why our school grounds are now closed. And one of the big requests that our governor had was to maintain social distance. Um, when we had our grounds open, unfortunately, we had some large groups that were congregating, and that was opposite of what the governor asked us to do and what we know about keeping our social distance from each other. So we all have to do our part, even Wishbone, to keep social distance. Hopefully, this will be temporary, but in the meantime, all of our buildings and grounds are closed, other than those school officials that need to come in and pick up equipment. I'll remind everybody that lunch is again available from 11 to 1 today. Lunch and breakfast for the following morning. It's available at high school entrance C20. Just drive up, and Mr. Fetchko and his team will deliver it right to your car. So again, thank you, Mr. Fetchko, for making sure that we have food and food for all of our students. So here's my quick list of helpful tips to help protect children from getting sick. And this is from the CDC, the Center for Disease Control. And one of the issues we've been talking about has been making sure that we use good sources of information. And the CDC is a very good source of information. So clean hands often. So wash, wash, wash. Avoid people who are sick. Clean and disinfect high touch surfaces daily, like things that you don't always think about, doorknobs and light switches, anything that we touch often, we should be cleaning those often. We should launder items often, so do the wash. Practice social distancing, so avoid large groups, avoid large play groups or social groups. So we all know that this isn't easy, but we all have to do our part to help stop the spread of the COVID-19. Now for our mindful moments. And for our younger students, we're back on alpha breaths, and we are all the way up to O and P. And one of the things I talked to Dr. Willard, who wrote this book, I said, what am I going to do when I run out of pages or letters of the alphabet? And he suggested having students make up their own breathing practices for each letter of the alphabet. So once we get done with all of our letters of the alphabet, I'm going to ask students to send me some of their favorites to do with different letters. So be thinking about that as we go through. So today, Wishbone and I are up to oatmeal breath and perfume breath. So oatmeal breath is exactly what it sounds like. It's breathe in and imagine you are smelling a bowl of oatmeal. Then breathe out like you are blowing your oatmeal off to cool it. So that's a good one. Let's try that together. So here's our bowl of oatmeal. Everybody get your hands up and hold your hot bowl of oatmeal. And when we breathe in, we're going to take a nice big smell of it. And when we breathe out, we're going to try to cool it off. Oh, that was very good. Let's do that again. So breathe in and smell that oatmeal. And blow it out. That's nice and cool now. And one last time. So smell that oatmeal, may have some brown sugar on it. And let's blow real hard to cool it off. Well, that oatmeal is ready to eat. Thank you for helping me with that. And our letter P today is perfume breath. So perfume breath is as you breathe in and out, what perfume can you smell in the air? So just going to breathe in and out and use our sense of smell to see what we smell. So let's breathe in through our nose and out. I smell toast. Let's do it again. Breathe in and out. And let's do it one last time and see if we can smell something different. And out. Well, I couldn't get over the toast. The toast smells delicious in my house right now. So thank you, Dr. Willard and Alpha Breaths, and we'll keep going tomorrow. Yesterday, if you remember, we did a mindful eating practice, and I used a raisin, and we spent a lot of time with all of our senses. And I asked you to think about at lunch or at dinner yesterday, if you could take your first breath as a mindful eating practice. So, how'd you do? Oh, great. Glad to hear that. So I've been using the word mindful or mindfulness over the last few days. So what does mindful really mean? So to put it most simply, mindful means noticing. Noticing what is going on right here and right now. And if you think about it for a moment, we spend a lot of time thinking about the past and a lot of time thinking about the future. And sometimes we miss what's going on right here, right now. So when we are mindful, we become fully aware or self-aware of what is occurring in this moment. The things we hear, the things we smell, what we notice, how our bodies feel, we see things very clearly. And I see Wishbone being very, very good back there. And as I said, Wishbone likes cheese. So all those senses are very, very important to us. And being totally present in this moment is really important. So one of the strategies that we've been using is meditation as a way to increase self-awareness and our self-management capacity. That's why when you have meditated with me, I say things like, listen to the sounds we hear, scan your body and feel where it feels good. I tell you to sit still as possible and find your breath sometimes. So when we are mindful, we can develop self-awareness and self-management skills. Mindfulness has been shown to lessen stress and anxiety and many, many other things. Mindfulness can also help us practice good self-discipline, develop accurate self-perception, and much, much more. So think again about some of the things that we've been doing. We looked at my snow globe with my skiers in it. We talked a lot about gratitude, and we did some journaling about it. Those were all ways to help us be present in this moment about the things that we are doing right here and right now. So let's do a short mindfulness meditation. And we'll again use some of the strategies that I've talked about being still, about being aware of our senses, about the things we hear and the things we smell, and being aware of our bodies. So, if you're ready, find a comfortable spot to sit, and you and your parents and our teachers can all do this together. And find a comfortable position to sit. Put your feet flat on the floor. And if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes and you can just look down at the floor if you want. And if you just want to take a rest for 3 minutes, you can do that too. And let's start by taking 3 deep breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth. Big breaths, big in and out. Big breath in and big breath out through the mouth. Big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And now just regular breathing. And let's again see if we can listen to the things that are going on around us. Whether you can hear a wishbone or your furnace or the water in the background. Just for a moment, see what you can hear. And now we're going to start at the very top of our head, and we're going to scan all the way down through our body. And we're not looking for things that hurt or feel good. We're just noticing how our body feels. So let's start at the top of our head and slowly go down to our neck, our shoulders, our back, our bellies, our thighs, down through our knees, down our shins, and all the way down to our toes. And let's now see if we can find our breath as we're sitting still. Feel your belly raise or lower. See if you can just for a minute find your breath and feel that sense of calm. And let's bring ourselves back to this room and the sounds that we heard earlier. Let's see if we can find those for a minute. See if we can hear our furnace or the water running. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And sometimes it's good to take a nice stretch. Oh, I feel good after I meditate. So, meditation is one of the strategies we use for mindfulness. Um, and let me tell you, before we end today, I have a couple announcements. On Friday, we're going to have a special guest play that piano over there. So I hope you'll join me on Friday to hear our special piano guest. Wishbone and I have been very happy to see a lot of coloring that's occurring out in our community. Right, Wishbone? Wishbone has had several email sent to him. And if you'd like to send Wishbone an email, he'll try to get back to you. And how we always start or end our day, we're going to do a little mindful self-compassion. And that means we're going to be compassionate and caring towards ourselves for a minute. And so if you're comfortable, put your hand over your heart or give yourself a big hug. And you can repeat silently, May I be happy. May I be healthy. And may I be peaceful. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Hope to see you tomorrow.